Most men never practice this, yet when they do, women remember it for years. It might sound exaggerated at first, but pause and notice how often you see a man who seems to have everything together. He looks the part, he has success, he carries confidence, yet when it comes to building a genuine emotional bond with women, nothing truly lands. Attraction fades because the depth is missing. It is not about appearance, status, or the number of witty remarks he can deliver. What most men overlook are the small, almost invisible gestures, the quiet behaviors that spark something far deeper than charm. Once these are understood and practiced with intention, the entire dynamic shifts. Today, I will share 7 of these overlooked habits. They are not shallow tricks or recycled dating tips, but powerful psychological cues supported by research and grounded in the timeless discipline of Stoic thought. These habits were practiced by men who influenced others without noise, and they reveal what women rarely articulate, yet deeply desire stay until the end, because I will share the single practice that redefines the way you see attraction altogether. Once you grasp it, you will never approach connection the same way again. If you are serious about elevating your presence and learning what truly resonates with women, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what comes next. Secret 1 is the power of touch before intimacy. Picture this. You are on a date, the energy is good, she is laughing, conversation flows, everything feels natural. You walk her to her car, send a text later, and then it fizzles out. What went wrong? Many men believe it comes down to clever words, but real connection for women is not built through language alone. It is experienced. One of the most overlooked ways to create that experience is through intentional, respectful touch. This is not about being suggestive or aggressive. It is about being human, grounded, and real. A light touch on the shoulder when you lean in to share something, a guiding hand at her back as you walk through a crowded space, or a calm, non-sexual touch that signals safety and care before intimacy. These gestures carry weight because they communicate presence. They say, I notice you, I value you, and you are safe here. The reason this matters is simple. Women bond more deeply through comfort than conquest. A man who can touch without taking, who offers reassurance instead of pressure, is rare. It is not about mastering technique. It is about being fully present in the moment, using touch as a reflection of attention and respect. When you do this with steady intent rather than impulse, she feels it instantly. The body relaxes, the mind opens, and trust begins to form. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us not to argue endlessly about what a good man should be, but to become one. Most men miss this lesson. They chase tactics and overlook presence. The few who understand it leave an impression that lingers long after the moment has passed. Secret 2 is flirting with confidence rather than desperation. Many men either put on a show as if they are auditioning for approval, or they freeze and say nothing at all. Both approaches miss the point. Women are not searching for rehearsed performances. They are drawn to the energy that lives beneath the words. Flirting works best when it feels playful, calm, and rooted in presence. Light teasing, a pause that lets tension breathe, eye contact that holds just long enough to spark curiosity. This is the natural language of a man who values himself. Imagine she mentions she loves sushi. Instead of just nodding, you smile and say, sushi. Then you definitely have not been to my place yet. The line itself is simple, but what matters is the energy behind it. It is not arrogant, it is not needy, It is an invitation to play. The difference is subtle but powerful. You are not seeking to win her over or prove yourself. You are enjoying the moment as it unfolds, which is why it feels rare and magnetic. Most men work tirelessly to be liked. The man grounded in Stoic principles does not. He carries his validation within. His words are secondary to his presence. And that steady presence is what creates attraction. When you master this mindset, something shifts. Women begin to lean in, not because you chased, but because your calm confidence created space they want to enter. Secret 3 is the subtle power of touching her hair at the right moment. It may sound simple, yet it carries surprising depth. The scalp is one of the most sensitive parts of the body, and a gentle touch there resonates beyond the physical. It signals closeness, safety, and emotional presence. Imagine this scene. You are sharing a meaningful conversation. She is smiling, leaning closer. The energy is flowing naturally. A strand of hair slips across her face. You quietly reach over and brush it aside. No words are needed, yet the gesture speaks volumes. It is not about technique. It is about the unspoken trust between you. The timing, however, is everything. This is not for a first meeting, nor for a moment when tension is high or the energy feels uncertain. It is reserved for when the connection has already formed and warmth is in the air. That is when the gesture becomes authentic. Stoicism reminds us of restraint and discipline, teaching us to act not from impulse, but from alignment with the moment. The touch of her hair is not a trick or a tactic. It is a reflection of presence. When expressed at the right time, it becomes unforgettable. Not because of the act itself, but because of the calm intention behind it. Secret 4 is the hand on her back in public. At first glance, it might seem minor, almost trivial. Yet for a woman, it carries meaning far beyond the gesture itself. Picture the moment. You are walking together through a busy street. You move slightly ahead to hold the door open. As she passes, your hand rests lightly on her back for just a second. The movement is calm, natural, and intentional. That simple touch conveys leadership, protection, and quiet confidence. It is not about ownership or pressure. It is about presence. Many men miss this balance. Some avoid any touch at all out of hesitation. Others lean in too forcefully. The power of this gesture lies in the middle. Your hand says without words, I am here, I am steady, and I am paying attention. She may not even consciously process it, but her body and mind register the safety and reassurance it offers. In a culture filled with noise, posturing, and empty boasting, a man who leads with composed action stands apart. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the measure of a good man is not in his claims, but in his quiet deeds. This small touch is one of those deeds. It is not about provoking a reaction. It is about guiding with calm presence. And that stillness is what draws her closer. Secret 5 is being her protector in the small moments. Modern women do not need rescuing, and they do not need someone to fight their battles for them. What they still value deeply, however, is the quiet reassurance of safety. Not through dramatic displays, but through steady consistency and presence. It shows in subtle ways. You do not allow someone to dismiss or talk over her in conversation. You make sure she arrives home safely, not out of a belief that she is fragile, but because her well-being matters to you. When she feels uneasy, you do not announce your support loudly. You simply stand beside her with calm strength. This is not about control or dominance. It is about steadiness, the kind of presence that communicates, without words, that you can be relied on. A woman does not crave overprotection, she craves composure. She notices the difference between panic and poise, between needless drama and quiet direction. Epictetus once taught that what matters is not what happens, but how we respond to it. When you respond with grace instead of agitation, when you remain grounded while others lose themselves, she feels it. In a world that often feels chaotic, your calm presence becomes a rare and magnetic source of trust. Secret 6 is the psychological pull of mentioning a dream. It is a subtle move, yet it carries remarkable influence. When you are in conversation or texting, you might say, "You know, I had the strangest dream about you last night." Then you stop. You allow silence to do the work. Curiosity naturally pulls her in. Almost every time she will ask, "What was it about?" This is where restraint matters. Do not create some exaggerated fantasy. Keep it simple, warm, and real. You might say, "I cannot remember all the details, but we were sitting in a little cafe just talking. It felt good, that is all." The power lies not in the story, but in the fact that she now knows she appeared in your unconscious mind. This does more than a compliment ever could. It shows that she has crossed into a place beyond surface thought, into the part of you that is not controlled. That is rare, and what is rare leaves an imprint. Women remember not the flashy gesture, but the quiet signal that they hold space in your life. This is not about manipulation. It is about creating an atmosphere of mystery and presence. A Stoic man does not chase or plead for attention. He creates intrigue by living with depth. Instead of forcing an emotion, he opens the space where emotion arises naturally, and that is what makes it endure. Secret 7 is the beard effect, the ability to command respect without saying a word. At first glance it might look like style, but its meaning runs deeper than appearance. Across history, men who carried influence, whether philosophers, leaders, or warriors, often shared a presence that spoke louder than words. Facial hair was part of that image, not because of fashion alone, but because of what it symbolized. Research shows that women often associate a well-groomed beard with qualities like strength, maturity, and reliability. The key, however, is intention. Neglecting it sends a message of carelessness, while maintaining it with discipline communicates order and self-respect. A sharp beard frames the face, defines the jaw, and makes expressions more striking. It becomes less about the hair itself and more about the impression of discipline it conveys. Marcus Aurelius taught that the soul becomes colored by the quality of its thoughts. In the same way, your outward appearance reflects the order you cultivate within. If you can grow a beard, maintain it with purpose. If you cannot, the principle remains the same. How you present yourself tells the world how seriously you take yourself, and that silent signal of composure is what people, and women especially, notice most. Let us recap. A gentle, non-sexual touch before intimacy creates safety and trust. Flirting with calm confidence, not desperation, naturally draws her closer. A well-timed brush of her hair communicates connection without a single word. A hand on her back in public signals quiet strength and leadership. Protecting her in the small moments builds lasting respect. Mentioning a dream plants her in your subconscious and makes her feel seen. A well-maintained beard, or any intentional presentation, reflects discipline and presence. The truth is, you do not need to force these gestures or checkboxes. They are not tricks. They are natural extensions of presence, awareness, and discipline. When you live from that place, connection follows on its own. The top men do not chase approval. They do not posture or beg for attention. They embody stillness, strength, and depth, and women respond to that energy. So the question is this: will you stay like most men, unaware of what truly resonates, or will you become the man who practices what few ever master? If these lessons resonated with you, leave a comment sharing which one struck you most. And if you found value here, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because this journey has only just begun. Stay steady, stay grounded. Remember, true power does not shout. It simply is.